Hey everybody, welcome back to Worship Guitar Now. I'd like to thank everybody for all the support I've been getting on my channel lately. It's people like you who make this channel better. In today's video, I'd like to show you how to play 4 simple arpeggios. And these 4 arpeggios make up one really nice chord progression. And playing these arpeggios in the shapes that I show you today is going to make it easy enough that even beginners can learn this. For today's lesson, I'll be using my Squier Paranormal Telecaster. I'll be playing it through this really cool pedal board that I demonstrated how to make in one of my previous videos. And it'll all be going into my Boss Katana amp. So let me reposition my camera, and when I come back, we'll take a look at this together. Okay, here we go. So today we're going to be working in the key of G. And like I said before, I want to show you 4 simple arpeggios. And together, those arpeggios are going to make up a really nice chord progression. So if you're not familiar with an arpeggio, all an arpeggio is a chord that we pick the notes individually instead of strumming the whole chord. And the first chord I want to show you today is a G. And the way we're going to make that G is at the 7th fret. We're going to make it in a form that's the same as a D chord, but all we do is we move it up to the 7th fret and it becomes a G chord. So the way we make that is with our first finger on the G string on the 7th fret, and our third finger on the B string on the 8th fret, and our second finger on the E string on the 7th fret again. And that makes our G chord. And the way we turn that into an arpeggio is we just pick the notes individually like so. And that's an arpeggio. So because we're in the key of G, and our first chord is a G, that's our 1 chord. So the chord progression we're playing today is a 1-6-4-5 chord progression. So the next chord that we're looking for is our number 6 chord. And that's a minor chord, and that's an E. And the way we play that is like so. We take our third finger and put it on the 9th fret on the G string. We take our second finger and put it on the 8th fret on the B string. And we take our first finger and put it on the 7th fret on the E string. And that gives us an E minor, and it's played like so. The reason I'm choosing these chord forms is they're all very close together. And when you're a beginner, moving from chord here to chord there becomes a really daunting task, and it's hard to get those fingers to work properly until you get a little bit of experience under your belt. So I chose this today, so our beginners that are watching, they'll be able to grasp this and pick it up and play something that sounds like music, keeping them interested for hours on end. So now we have our 1 chord, and we have our 6 chord. So now we need our 4 chord, and our 4 chord is going to be a C chord. And the way we're going to make that is we're going to take that first finger and we're going to make a mini bar. You really only have to cover those 2 bottom strings, but if you want to make it easy, you can cover the 3 bottom strings on the 8th fret. And then you're going to take your second finger and you're going to put it on the 9th fret on the G string. And that makes our C chord, and it's played as follows. And to make our 4th chord, which is a number 5 chord, it's really easy. Because this is our form that's making our C chord, our 5 chord is a D chord. And the way we make that is we use the exact same form. And all we do is move it up 2 frets, or 2 semitones. And that gives us our D chord, and that's played as follows. So now we have the 4 chords that we need for this progression. We have our 1 chord, which is a G. We have our 6 chord, which is E minor. We have our 4 chord, which is a C. We have our 5 chord, which is a D. And when you put them all together, 1, 6, 4, 5, they sound like this. You can record them on your looper pedal and play it back, and play along to it with some scales and see how that sounds. The scale that you might want to use is a G major scale, or G major pentatonic scale, whichever you're comfortable with. I've recorded a simple loop a little earlier. I'll put it on and give you a little demonstration of what I mean. And that's just a little example of how you can use some scales over top that chord progression if you have a looper pedal. Well, I hope you had fun with this video. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It's people like you who make this channel even better.